All right, welcome back to the finals of GP Ottawa. We have Epid versus Zangy. They're deciding on who goes first by Zangy has the higher seed, so they're going first.
Mm-hmm.
Your name is first, okay. So anyways, Epid is on mono black mid range. We're still waiting for them to mulligan their opening hand so that we can like hover over the cards and have the cards show up because otherwise we're like just talking without any visual aid. Okay, there we go. So Epid is on mono black mid range, which is a mid range deck that plays a bunch of discard spells followed by just efficient black creatures and also some poison because it turns out poison is actually good in this format and we've gotten some poison kills in this GP so far with this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Not many,
Very
but
powerful.
some. Meanwhile, Zangy is on Mardu, Fireweaver, Death Shadow combo,
Mm-hmm.
where you're playing 80 cards because you have a card called
Fireweaver, yeah.
Fireweaver, which is
Unrivaled Fireweaver and Mono Black Midrange. I feel like have kind of been the two big decks of this GP, although I guess Fireweaver isn't specifically a deck, but Fireweaver I think has been the biggest card
well,
in general.
of course it's big. It's of course it's a big deck because it's 80 cards.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, Epid starts off turn one with a discard spell and pay up.
Mm-hmm. Discard spell's good.
Yeah, and pay up it's an interesting discard spell because you give your opponent a choice. And usually Punisher cards are bad, but this one's actually really good.
Yeah. Pay up, I think what it is that the downside is just strong enough that most of the time people are willing to just discard the card you choose.
Yeah, so it ends up being a Thoughtseize.
Without the life loss, even better. I know, I feel like there was definitely a time where people were a lot more willing to discard a different card, but now it's gotten to the point where like stuff is loaded around enough that the difference between 2 and 3 mana, 3 and 4 mana, anything like that is huge.
Yeah.
Like for Epid here, I mean, having the treasure is the difference between getting the Valdez hit something and Profane Emissary or just dropping Profane Emissary or Valdez.
Well, I don't think they're gonna use this treasure this soon, though, if they do get a treasure. Like, they probably want to ramp out a 3-drop if they top deck one or turn 3 Infectious Ego.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, on Zangy's side, we haven't even talked about their opening hands. So Zangy, meanwhile, has a hand that has combo pieces, but like not much else. They have Ink Summoner, which is a 2-drop, and Epid does choose Ink Summoner.
I think Summoner kind of suffers here because you just don't have anything on 2 or 3 that does anything other than Summoner, and Summoner is not really a card you want out on its own. You don't have any Pain lands, you can't get the triggers off of it.
They discard one of its combo pieces.
I mean, you have Selvar's Defiance, you have that. And
yeah.
You're safe from a Valdez here, which is important because you can always discard the Summoner to a Valdez if they name low.
So turn 2, Epid, top deck Profane Emissary number 2. So I think they're just gonna play Profane Emissary out on 2.
Yeah, that seems good.
Ooh, Purple's also watching. Oh, wait,
Okay, well, I think my mic is coming across now. I upgraded to the new Windows recently. I think that muddled with my settings.
Okay, Profane Emissary comes into play.
Yeah, gonna Valdez here. Get a name higher. That gets rid of Provoke, which is, not what you want to be. Not a card you want to lose. Absolutely.
Well, it's only turn 2. Like, you're alright losing a 4-drop because at least you still have time to find something else.
Now
to do.
these lands are great because now Ink Summoner will actually get you some birds and cats and whatnot. I think we can get a bird this turn, and then next turn you should be able to get a cat.
Oh, yeah, I don't actually remember what creature types Ink Summoner makes because it makes the weirdest creature types.
Yeah, well, I mean, bird and cat make sense because it's like, crows and black cats and whatnot. I don't know what the golem token is, though. I don't know why. I guess the golem is just kind of the classic big thing you summon.
Yeah.
It's a golem. Yeah. So yeah, get the bird, and the next turn should be getting the cat because you can go island, get another, lose a life unless you have 2 more basics, and then you, I guess, just tap the lands. You don't want to be using Selvar's Defiance here, so
play Summit Highlands untapped, lose 2 life, fetch a Pain land, pay with both your Pain lands. That's still only 4 life, right? You need to lose 6 life, so you can't.
You don't need the golem. Like, I've never seen Zangy make the golem before, and the card is still a house, so fine.
All right, so now Epid's using Profane Emissary to fetch a demon. So the usual demon you fetch with Profane Emissary is Polyp Pools, which is a tribal land that has Changeling. So, you can just fetch it for without paying any life, and you play it out, and then unless your opponent has land destruction, you're always going to have a demon in play. So
people, I mean, like Imperial Seed, Mirror Gate, those are cards that are sideboarded just to deal with palette pools because a 2-mana 4/4 with lifelink is really good. And it evades a lot of, like, especially with like Imperial Seed, you're in mono red. It's hard to deal 4 damage. You get Excoriate, that's about it. In terms of popular 4 damage options, most other stuff.
Epid does not fetch Apollo pools. In fact, instead they fetch an actual demon. It's the 3-drop Hydro. Yeah. And they're just going to play out a 3/4 for 3 on 3. I guess they're just trying to play on curve.
3-mana 3/4 with Menace is like fine.
It's only fine. Like it passes the vanilla test, right? Just whatever, it's fine.
I feel like it's better to be getting Apollo pools and playing your second main emissary. Although I guess I don't know.
But then you lose out on 2 mana, or I mean, what you're not using 1 mana.
You're not using 1 mana, but like I feel like you're just getting a better card.
Are you? Like, you still have a land right now. Next turn, if Perfect Emissary survives, you can fetch Apollo pools.
That's true.
Ooh,
you can just like fetch Apollo. I guess that makes more sense because if you play Hydro, then you get next turn PM and Soulbreaker. So
yeah.
So
Zangy
you can
draws
take your time.
Ink Summer number 2.
Oh, that's really good. 2 cats.
Yeah.
It actually gives you something to use that mana on.
Seems like Zangy's deck still does stuff even if they don't have the combo, or if they only have combo pieces.
Simply draw Ink Summoner. That's about it.
I don't think there's much else to it. So Zangy's already down at 9, and they're staring down a board of 4/4s and 3/4s. So like that might actually be a problem because as much as Zangy wants to lose life, never mind. They have a bunch of blockers now. Yeah, this is not.
I think it's more. You have a lot of blockers.
Yeah, really. It's not a good board to attack into as Epid.
The cats are Death Touch, so.
Oh, they have Death Touch, difficult. Right?
So they trade 1 for 1 with the 4/4s and 3/4s and whatnot. A really tough situation. Then Epid with the problem of Soulbreaker kind of just being a dead card with no way to trigger it.
They can.
No poison.
They need to top deck some way to enable the poison.
Top deck. Well, I don't know. Epid might want to get. No, I feel like you don't get palette pools here because with that board, I don't think you're like 100% on the beat down here.
Yeah.
I think getting the palette pools play out both your cards is like, it takes the draw. Ends up being a swamp, so.
Maybe just play Valdez here because that spends your mana better.
That's true. Honestly, yeah, playing Valdez here.
And then start attacking with your menacing guys, except it gets blocked by cats. Like, only trades for one of them.
That's true, yeah. It's just both cats block, and then you eat one. It's not very good. Plus, downside is that Valdez is just a 2/3 here. I think it's really hard to justify paying 4 mana for a 2/3, especially because Zangy is probably rather content to just sit here, but plays Valdez.
Yep.
Still not a bad play. That's still always, Zangy has these cards in hand. At 2 cards, you're very close to triggering Valdez.
Zangy breathing a sigh of relief that Ego didn't come down.
Yeah, Ego here would be brutal.
So for those of you watching at home, Infectious Ego is a 4-drop, black 4-drop with the text. It's a 4/4 lifelinker, and when it enters battlefield or attacks, your opponent has to sacrifice something or sacrifice a permanent.
And you also get a poison counter, which does matter because you see Soulbreaker and Malkatesh makes a poisoned player sack a creature. So there are cards in like Zang. There's cards in the mono black mid-range deck that do take advantage of your opponent being poisoned. Mistress of the Black Orchid is another one.
Yeah.
Where it's if your opponent is poisoned, but you take.
Ego isn't actually good on this board because there's so many tokens right now.
Simply sacrifice a bird.
Yeah, and Zangy just taps their land without spending them out on anything just to lose a life to trigger their Ink Summoners.
That seems decently smart because you have this kind of army of birds you're going to build up and your opponent can't really attack you.
This is actually a huge problem for Epid because do they have a way to break past this board? Like, most of your deck is just big, chunky creatures, which are usually really good, but like against this board with some annoying death touchers and some chump blockers,
these cats just eat the things up, and then I think you can break it. It's just like you have to lose things in the process. So Epid does have the choice to even out the board here, which honestly isn't a terrible idea.
But the Ink Summoners are going to die. Like, Zangy's not going to block the Ink Summoners, and then they're just going to retrigger it next turn.
If you trigger it for the birds, then Epid is going to eat those birds very easily, and then
the cats will trade with the 4/4s, and then the birds.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
I mean, realistically,
I guess it's not super great.
unless Zangy gets a fetch land or 2 more pain lands, then you're not really gonna get the cats. This worst case scenario here is that like Zangy plays Crumbling Precipice here and then draws a fetch, and then you get 2 golems, and that's very, very bad.
Then he's
Because you
not
can't
gonna try
really
to
get
trigger
weapons.
their ink summoners again. I feel like that's a mistake. Like I feel like 2/1/1 birds is way better than 2 life in this situation because your opponent doesn't actually have that much reach. Their only reach
think so,
is
yeah.
Auric Soul Weaver, which only drains 1 on each cast. So like you need to play out Auric Soul Weaver and then play out a bunch of cards in order to actually get some good drain off that.
Epid just keeps getting swamp here.
That's unfortunate. Do they not have anything else
So,
they
I
can
mean,
fetch off for Emissary?
no, I think they're the one purifier. That's it.
They're not. Alright, Noma wants in the sideboard.
Yeah, Nima Wong is a sideboard
Like Noma
card.
would be great here, I think. They're just gonna tempo out Soulbreaker. Yeah.
That seems bad.
Well, they can't hold it in hand forever. They need to do stuff, but like playing it. Oh yeah, they're just doing it to avoid the Conspiracy of Ravens.
Oh yeah, Conspiracy of Ravens would just see that. Ooh, Paragon's not what you want to see here.
Let's see.
That's gonna get a very big Herald of Oblivion very soon.
Yeah, it's gonna get a really big Herald of Oblivion, which is MSEM's Virgin of Death Shadow.
Yeah, it's Death Shadow, but it comes with flying.
Well, so this is not a very good order to draw those cards in. Soulbreaker.
No.
Now we draw Mind Falters after you already play out the Soulbreaker, after holding onto it for so long but you have to play it out because you had no other option.
But like, rubbing it in, yeah.
You
might
also
as well play it.
Like their last card.
I mean, losing Selva's Defiance might matter. I don't think it does, but it might.
It does, because Selva's Defiance with Paragon of Noon. I mean, Paragon of Noon could... it's Sorcery, never mind.
Yeah, it's an attack trigger, so it's not like you get anything fun for doing anything. But yeah, here, I mean, Zangy just swings in with Paragon every bird, and then you should... Yeah, I think if you swing in with Paragon, your birds, and then Epid goes down to 7.
Well, so you activate Paragon of Noon, which puts you down to 4, right? Because you lose 3 life from your lands.
Going down off that.
So how big is the Herald that this thing fetches out? Because it puts in the Herald to play attacking.
It's going to be a 9/9.
Is that lethal?
It's going to be 14. No, it's going to be 10/10. 10/10. So it's going to be 14 - 4.
Well, Zane's going for it.
Yeah. Paragon the Paragon.
Is that what you call it these days?
What they call it back in your day, Ricky?
I don't know. I've never played against this card.
I mean, either. It's like a 2-of in the deck, but it doesn't come out too often. Swings with a bird. I think that seems smart. Maybe, I don't know. Attack trigger. I wonder what Zangy is going to get.
Okay, so that's 10 damage plus 2. I mean, you can just block the 2/1 with one of your life linkers and gain back the life.
That's true. That is the downside here, is that you do have these profane emissaries that can just go.
Wait, since it's indestructible, you can just double block it with the profane emissaries and gain 8 life off that.
Yeah.
Don't you love board stalls?
I love them. Well, I mean, Zangy has a 10/10 Herald of Oblivion.
Look, if you can gain 8 life every turn off the profane emissaries, I think you're fine. Wait, what?
What?
I guess Epid didn't realize that lifelink was a thing.
I feel like even then, why? Zangy's tapped out. It's not like they have anything.
Yeah, they didn't want to risk their profane emissaries, I guess. Or maybe Epid just wasn't thinking, so they just like blocked it with the closest thing that they could reach to point the arrow at.
I think they might. I think it's very possible that they've gone into the sort of I'm gonna lose this game mode. It's sort of going through the motions, I guess, of like, I'm up against this Herald, my hand is empty, it's going to kill me very soon.
And that actually mattered a lot, because now Epid can't play Bloodjade profitably.
Yeah, I mean...
If they block there, then that's plus 8 life, so they could have Bloodjaded after that, and then maybe draw into answer, because they just have to remove the Herald. And how much target removal do they have in their deck? A single copy of Strike from the Shadows?
A single copy of Strike from the Shadows.
Not too bad. Like, what's the chances of getting a single card in 3 cards in 45 cards?
Well, it would be 46, right?
Yeah, 46.
I'd say bad. I mean, it'd be like, okay, I guess it'd just be a 3 in 46 chance, because it's the odds that the card is in the top 3.
Well, it's like 1 in 46 and then times 1 in 45 times 1 in 44, right? Or is that... No, it's 1 minus that. Well, whatever, I'm not going to do some... Okay, Bloodjade comes down. Let's see if Epid suicides.
Let's see it.
Okay, I think Epid can just suicide here if they want.
You can lose, I guess.
Look, going out going out on your own terms is way better than letting your opponent lock you down.
Way better.
And that was game one. Zangy gets through with their giant board of things that Epid's deck isn't good at dealing with.
Mm-hmm. All right. I found a draw odds calculator.
Okay.
So deck size is 46. You have one copy. You're looking at 3 cards.
So looking at the sideboard right now.
So there would be about a this is giving me about a 6.5% chance of getting the Strike from the Shadows, which is better than I thought, honestly.
Yeah.
So there's about 6% chance of getting Strike there.
That's like that's a chance of landing a critical hit in Pokemon pre-Generation 6, or I guess Gen 7.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
So looking at the sideboard, Zangy's sideboard is a Fireweaver board, so there's not much to talk about because all of these cards are for Unrivaled Fireweaver, which we haven't seen yet, and we haven't described yet. But basically, if your deck's 80 cards or more, then it costs 2 mana and it fetches, or it impulse draws a card from a red instant or sorcery from a sideboard when it ETBs.
It's basically like a temporary wish.
Yeah.
Or impulse wish, which is very strong because it doesn't need to be exclusively red. So you can get like Provoke the Gods or any multicolor red card, which Zangy has here as 1 Provoke, 1 Fellor Charm, which is just, it's a charm. It's red white. But that's what Fireweaver is used for, is it lets you just have a bear that when it enters the battlefield lets you deal with pretty much whatever.
So
and then
for actual sideboard cards, it's basically 4 of Admonish and 3 of Shelldrain's Rage, and I guess 2 of Strengths of Purpose.
Yeah, and
I don't think any of them are coming in, right?
No, I feel like Mono Black Midrange has enough 4 toughness stuff that Shelldrain's Rage isn't really good.
Yeah,
there's not enough targeted stuff that Strength of Purpose is really worth it. Like, sure, it blocks it blocks a Strike from the Shadows, but that's only a 3 of even after the board. So.
Anyways, on Epid's side, this is much more interesting. You bring in all 2 copies of Strike from the Shadows because you need instant 3 removal. You bring Yomo 1 because you want to kill stuff that you want an edict that doesn't hit tokens.
Mm-hmm.
You want to bring in Seal Tomb.
That's actually an interesting question. I mean, yeah, it is kind of your combo hater, and you do the discard that I feel like you can support it.
I guess that's probably everything. Non-Forgotten is probably not good enough, probably.
Yeah, I think it's just too slow.
Well, anyways, Game 2 has started. Zangy has drawn their opening hand. It has 1 land. I think they're going to mulligan this.
Not keepable.
Yeah. Epid mulligans their 0 land hand.
Yeah, and then gets... I mean, yeah, your 1 Mind Falters. Zangy here with a 2-lander. No, 3-lander. Now this is an interesting hand. 3 lands, 2 Shanjin's commands, 2 Cragbound Crushers.
So no interaction until turn 4.
Simply ideal. And there's no guarantee of getting all those lands.
How fast can they get their life total down just with their lands? Because they might be able to... Wait, Zangy's going to mull to 5.
Gonna mull. Now that is a 1 land, but you have interaction in the Paragon? So, I guess you have to keep it because you really don't want to go down to 4. I think 4 is like, you can't go down to 4.
Especially against a deck with this much discard.
Oh, yeah. Turn 1 Mind Filters, anyone? I guess you just discard Aiel in that case because it's probably not going to come out. Second frowny face. Right up it. It'd be really funny as if you drew a Valdez here. Or pay up, actually, or another discard spell.
I mean, if you draw a discard spell, it doesn't curve out. I think the best draw for Epid here would be Profane Emissary.
Profane Emissary is a good card, but consider a discard spell would be funny. Now, this is an interesting hand for Zangy, because there's a lot of very low the ground stuff. You have turn 1 Conspiracy. If you're lucky, I mean, I guess you get Sea of Ed. You have Engrave, Paragon.
Maybe you just do play turn 1 Conspiracy.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Play your 2-1 for 1 and start attacking.
Yeah, that's probably smart. I mean, see the draw.
Oh, well, it's a discard spell.
Now that's funny.
I think you discard Engrave here because you can't guarantee that's going to hit something, right? Or do you just discard Sea of Ed because you can't guarantee that you're going to draw a land?
I think discarding Sea of Ed is giving up. To me, that's giving up because you're saying, I'm not going to draw another land.
They discard Conspiracy. What? Interesting. If they don't draw a land here, then, well, I guess that works.
Okay, gonna conspiracy there.
So at least it's gonna
Where did
snag
that-
the Infectious Ego.
It will, yeah.
Unfortunately,
disappointing.
Epid gets to drop their Auric Soul Weaver before Conspiracy gets to snag it. But I guess it dies at Engrave, so
But then Engrave.
yeah.
At which point, Epid has the advantage then because he gets Swarming Mid.
Well, Epid has advantage because they actually have lands.
That's also true. But just in terms of board presence, he gets Swarming Mid.
Yeah, that too.
So plays out Soul Weaver, not expecting Engrave, I guess.
They're not going to play out Swarming Mid, and I feel like they.
If you should be actually, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, like you know about the Conspiracy of Ravens coming down. You should have played Swarming Mid so it doesn't have Summoning Sickness next turn.
Engrave is a 4 of. Yeah, we lose Ego here. But like, Epid doesn't know about Engrave, so.
Well, you should play out Swarming Mid anyways because there's no downsides to playing it over a swamp in case you don't draw a card or draw a spell next turn. Just so you can attack next turn.
Oh boy, provoke. Oh man.
You know, maybe Zangy's going to top deck a Hero of Oblivion and just play it raw because their life total is down low enough from just naturally playing their cards.
A 1 mana 3/3. I mean, with flying, there's worse cards out there. There's much worse.
Yeah, Epid not feeling great about not playing Swarming Mid in there.
Mirror Gate.
Oh, well, that also sucks.
You don't even play Mirror Gate here. I feel like you play Swarming Mid anyways. Blocks Paragon. And then, I mean, yeah, you play it now, it blocks Paragon. Like, pranking Zangy is funny, but, like, that's what? Probably a 1 of Arctic Mine. Yeah, so naming it is not a good idea. Playing this out.
Hey, look, we finally got our land.
So then I get Sea of Eve, which is kind of rough because then Epid doesn't have an easy attack here. So Zangy might end up back on the upswing with the downside of once Epid gets to 6 lands, you have double Mind Falters.
Yeah.
And that's a Mirror Gate in hand. So
I mean, the Revelations are coming to play.
Kind of math. Yeah, Coalesce. Great mechanic. Gotta love it.
Great mechanic. You know, why not staple a 4/7 to your flashback to a card that's already on rate on the front side?
Why not staple a 4/7 to my 1 mana sorcery that makes someone discard a card?
I think like I've heard someone mention that if Coalesce was actually balanced, the power and toughness of some card like RFE would probably be a 3/3 instead of a 5/6.
Yeah, but it's fine. Did you know that RFE was actually printed at common originally?
Is it not printed at common now?
I don't think it has been. I don't think it has been. I was surprised when I saw it was a common. I felt like it was at least an uncommon. It got printed common in Rail War, and then ever since then it's been not common. But it also has been a set in like Masters.
Also, for those of you watching at home, RFE, it's Recall Forgotten Aeons. It's 1 green, blue, sorcery, draw 2 cards. You may play an additional land this turn. Coalesce.
It's the cooler growth spiral.
Yeah, and then you coalesce it for 7 mana, and it's a 5/6. You play it in every ramp deck because it's a ramp card that ramps into its own payoff.
Yeah. Who needs payoffs when you can simply have good cards?
You can simply play a 7 mana 5/6 that draws 2 cards on ETB.
Yeah. So here, Epid is in. Just draw a land, I guess.
If Epid manages to hold L, then CFB just kills Zangy.
Oh, well, Epid drew a land. You play Mirror Gate here, name Arctic Mine, and then Swamp next turn, Coalesce, and then...
You play Mirror Gate, you activate Swarm Mid and attack, because then you have to block, or else CFB kills them really quickly.
Faster, I guess, is important.
Alternatively, you can leave Swarm Mid and back and try to block, and hope that Zangy dies to their own CFB sometime, eventually. I think it's probably... Well, actually, no, you have to leave Swarm Mid and back, because if they trade with it, then you don't get to coalesce your thing. Yeah,
you play Mirror Gate here, and then realistically, you're taking like.
Nope, Epid doesn't realize that they need Swarm Mid to stay alive in order to coalesce the Mind Falters. And Zangy's.
Yeah, I mean, Zangy has to block this. I think. Can you block it? Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good trade for Epid though, because they get never mind. It's not a 3-power thing.
Why are you taking Sea of Eve?
Because Sea of Eve is scary, right? Paragon Dune does nothing. It's just a 2/1. That's like...
That's true, yeah.
Anyways, you play Mirror Gate, naming Arctic Mine, and try to massacre Zangy. So you no longer have to do math about whether they're going to die to their own CFE before Epid dies. I feel like that was a bad attack because it made Zane's life way easier. Like if your opponent's happy about you attacking into them, then I think you made a mistake.
Yeah, well, Sea of Vitas, it's an odd situation, but yeah, I would leave the midden back because it's not worth it to be attacking in when you have that kind of card in your bin. A 4/7 is very good. Like that's pretty good rate.
Yeah.
So,
It's a 6-mana 4/7 that already had a front side. It's a 2-for-1.
exactly.
It's like a 7-mana 4/7 make your opponent discard 2 cards. But like,
And like here's the thing is that you have 2 lands in hand. There's nothing else that you're like playing into. This feels weird to attack in there. Name's Nebula.
well, if Zane top decks Nebula here, then I guess
Oh God, that's brutal. That's just brutal.
Should have
I mean, yeah, and that's really bad for Epid now.
They need to top deck a removal spell. They should have left back the Swarming Midden.
Yeah.
The one with Black Rat doesn't even do anything.
Can't even block, and now it's just gonna get stonewalled by this 6/7/7. So yeah, Epid is dead in 2 turns.
They have good top decks. Oh well, this is very good top deck.
Lifelink, yeah, that's good.
Like worst case scenario, Zane sacks a land, Epid takes a hit from Herald, and then you swing with Ego, and like you're still out of Herald range.
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, if Zangy sacks the land, you're in a very good spot.
Zangy reacts appropriately to seeing an Ego come into play while you have only
gets rid of Paragon here, which makes sense.
They're never gonna activate it. Yeah. Huh.
Fireweaver with no red.
That's unfortunate. I guess you just have to go on the offense now. But at least Ego won't be triggering because you don't even have enough things for Ego to trigger.
Double strike.
Oh yeah, so I guess if Zane had Salvar's Defiance, then they just win here.
Splendid Leap.
That also works, but they don't. So
I mean, they're waiting for it. I guess they're waiting to get it.
Yeah.
Pay up. Well, yeah, play pay up.
This is
not really matters.
This is kind of an uncomfortable situation for Epid because like
you can't really attack in.
Yeah, but you just have to like
can't really sit back either.
You just have to hope your opponent doesn't draw Splendid Leap before you draw something to deal with this. And like you can't stop Splendid Leap with discard spells.
See which card do you get rid of here? Because I feel like you have to get rid of you have to get rid of Fireweaver.
It's more likely.
And then Zangy discards Provoke, I guess.
Yeah, and now you get to coalesce.
If Zangy draws a red source that isn't Nebula, then
they get a win next turn because they play Fireweaver, they fetch Salvar's Defiance, and then next turn they can Herald and swing for the win.
Well, they don't win because if Epid sees Salvar's Defiance exiled, they'll swing in with Ego at least.
I mean, Ego dies then to Herald.
Ego dies, but like you have to do it or else you die.
Yeah, but then like then what are you doing? Because your opponent still has Herald in play, and now you only have a rat.
Well, if you die otherwise, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that's not a good situation for you to be in.
It's not, no, but it's better than the alternative.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take what you can get. Maybe you top deck optimal card, you know. Yeah, top deck lead.
So I guess one of the heads of play here is just attack with Ego anyways, so that you don't die to top deck leap. But like that's just so bad.
Really brutal. I feel like in that case, if you attack with Ego now, you will die because Zangy's gonna start swinging with Herald.
Yeah, but
the reason they're not swinging with Herald is to prevent Ego from hitting because Ego hits twice and that's it. So I feel like you can't swing with Ego because you're just going to die, even with like whatever. Now coalescing here is really good because force the discard at least and get a good creature.
Epid's thinking through the same lines that we've been thinking through. Like, do you attack here to prevent yourself from dying to Zangy top decking the combo, or do you not attack here so that you don't lose to Zangy not top decking the combo? I mean, if you attack here, you also get to attack with the rat, which brings Zangy down to 6. I'm not sure if that's helpful at all, but like that's something you can do if you decide to attack with Ego here.
I feel like you have time. Like Zangy's pretty low. If you coalesce here, if Zangy doesn't get the top deck they need, you coalesce, then you're in a really good spot. Because then you have the 4/7. I think it's just the question of is the card that Zangy needs there or not, which is somewhat unfortunate, but something you have to deal with.
Just a lot of thinking about possibilities. and how much risk you
A
want
lot
to
of
take.
thinking. Yeah.
And they decide to swing. That's yeah, I guess. And
Top deck.
oh
I
yeah,
forgot to
right,
check.
right. If you swing with Eagle, then it doesn't matter because now your opponent gets to swing with Herald, and the same situation plays out next
And
turn.
then they get Fireweaver.
Yeah, so you probably should have attacked.
I don't think it really matters. I mean, with Fireweaver on top, I
Well,
guess
it wouldn't
doesn't
matter because if your opponent swung with Herald here, then that means you get to swing with Eagle next turn, which puts you up to 15 and forces a sack, which I guess doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't think it really changes much because powerful swamp for 3 mana. So that is game 2, right? And both of them went. Both of them went the same way. Yeah. I mean, with Mountain on the top, I don't think it does matter because Epid was at 14. So you play the Fireweaver, you attack in with Herald, you have Selvar's Defiance ready. I don't think Epid can do anything.
Right.
Because even if you hit with the Ego, you're at 11 still.
Yeah.
Because you went down to 7 after getting boinked by the Herald.
So do you think there was a point in Epid's play where they could have prevented this from happening, or at least just played better this game?
I mean, I think losing out on coalescing the Mind Falters by attacking with Swarming Midden was a big mistake.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I agree.
I think that was a really big mistake because I think getting those 4/7s out, you get to put pressure on earlier, and with Zangy as low as they are, I think you have a chance to actually beat in.
Yeah, and also you don't lose your Swarming Midden, so that probably.
And then I guess you also have that attacker late in the game as well, because now you've coalesced both your things. You get Ego, everything is great. I mean, with that, Epid made it to the finals, but was not able to go all the way. But more importantly, Zangy is now the MSEM GP champion.
Yeah,
I suppose is the champion. I assume we're gonna get a Herald promo in these coming days.
Doesn't Herald already have a promo? Or let me check.
It's got a secret lair, at least 2, because they have the Eldritch one and the one I made. I know Selvar's Defiance doesn't have Squid, so you could definitely go with that. Yeah, Herald has 2 secret lair drops.
I mean, I don't think I could ask for a better finals matchup because we have the most represented decks from both most represented decks in the GP.
Yeah, we get Herald, which is I think Herald combo's a new deck. It might have been League or something, but this is my first time seeing it.
Well, it's more like it's a Fireweaver deck versus Mono Black Midrange.
That's true. Mono Black Midrange as well. I believe 2 of them made it to top 8, and then there was at least one more that was looking for contention at some point. So that deck did well, and then of course Fireweaver did really well. I think there were at least 3 Fireweavers that made it to the top 8, because it turns out Unrivaled Fireweaver is a really good card.
You want to get post-game interviews?
You know what? Yeah, let's get post-game interviews. Let's see if we can get people in here. I would like to hear things. Hopefully we can get we got Earth Flex. I know great game. Zangy performed very well. It doesn't look like Epid or Zangy's gonna hop in here, although good. Yeah, I know Zangy is around. But he also might have won and then immediately disappeared.
Just win, enter
win,
match,
leave,
win.
refuse.
Yeah.
Leave, win, refuse to elaborate.
That's win, leave, refuse to elaborate.
Yeah, I guess so. I will. Yeah, see, Zangy's okay. It looks like neither will be able for post-game interviews. So,
well, actually, Epid have much to say. Okay, sure.
Epid said they don't have much to say, so yeah, pretty difficult matchup, though.
Pretty good.
There was a lot of good Magic gameplay, I'm going to stop the stream now, seeing as
I guess I should also end the recording. So yeah, this is GP Ottawa. Right. See you guys next GP.
Yep, just about a weekish away. Start accepting submissions in a couple days. It's great.